That's the furthest we've ever gone.
That's true.
Yang, we're out.
Yang! Yang!
On Tuesday, we kicked off Movie Night Automata, a month of movies about androids, robots, and the humans they interact with. We started off with Blade Runner and had a lively conversation about it.
Implants. Those aren't your memories. They're somebody else's. They're Tyrell's nieces.
Tonight, we're going 40 years further to talk about Kogonada's 2022 movie After Yang.
We will keep Yang's body preserved here in a biostate while you go and review the memories and decide what you want to do next.
Talking about Blade Runner, a movie which subverted the corporate ethos of the 1980s, we talked about the Tyrell Corporation, the evil company which deceived and experimented on the Nexus models until they became smarter and stronger than humans. After Yang is a movie that also has a secretive corporation, Brothers and Sisters Inc., and an industry of secondhand companies that sold used robots.
It's a bunch of corporate bullshit. You know who made that a law? Brothers and sisters. They're just trying to protect their spyware. You recycle that, they will have so much data on your family, make your head spin.
The 2010s and 2020s have been rife with examples of corporations providing paid and free services that secretly record and collect data, demolishing privacy. In this world, much like TikTok and the scare right now, there is fear about Chinese spying from these androids called technosapiens.
Now we have proof.
Now, so you've never seen these before.
What does it matter? It is what it is.
Have you looked at the recordings?
No. No, I'm pro-privacy.
Can I see what's on here?
Colin Farrell and Jodie Turner-Smith play a married couple named Jake and Kyra, who have an adopted daughter, Mika, who is Chinese. Naturally, not wanting her to lose her heritage or culture, they buy a second-hand android named Yang to watch and tutor Mika.
Why do they do it? Why do they move branches to different trees?
It's called grafting. They do it to make something new. Some of the apples you love were produced by combining different trees. It's an ancient technique that was used in China over 4,000 years ago.
A Chinese fun fact?
Yes.
However, Yang has a malfunction in his computer core and is not fixable, especially as these second-hand and third-hand companies are not even allowed to fix parts of the technosapiens. These machines are far too complicated for the average person, even talented technicians, and the corporations that benefited from that immensely. This movie raises a lot of interesting ideas. Justin Min's Yang is both Chinese and an android, which makes him an outsider. Mika is also an outsider. And the fact that these identities are so central to their relationship makes for questions like, what is a human? What is Asian? Can an android be Chinese? And also about family, which transcends blood and, like branches on a tree, can be grafted together in beautiful ways. Kogonada, a director originally known as a video essayist, is South Korean, and even his name is a thing he bestowed upon himself as part of formulating his identity as an Asian American immigrant. Another similarity with Blade Runner, Kogonada's Brothers and Sisters Incorporated is secretly experimenting with implanting memory.
The memory banks allowed the technos to record a few seconds each day. The labs were trying to understand what technos considered memorable. But the research was uncovered. The whole project was shut down immediately for violating privacy laws.
In both cases, the idea of memory will be too much for their customers, I think, especially with the privacy issues in the age of data collection. But Yang has implanted memories, which are discovered after his death. This leads us in both cases to the question, when does an android start being human? Is it feelings? Is it memories? Is it identity? This is a question we will continue to return to.
Programmed to believe in that way.
Anyway, before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Also, we are now monetized, so if you have any pressing questions during this live stream, send us a super chat, which helps me keep the show running, and which I am obligated by international law, human rights law, to answer. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. All of our after parties are on there forever. Okay, let me introduce the panel. Conan Neutron, host of Protonic Reversal, co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, and frontman for Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends has a new split LP with Lung, Adult Prom, available now on Bandcamp. J. Andrew World, illustrator, book cover artist for Gives Them an Argument, co-host for Movie Night Extravaganza, and Bad Takes. Zach Marsh is a filmmaker and film aficionado, and the writer and director of the short film A Talk in the Park. I, of course, am your slightly used and fully refurbished host, Forrest Miller. Yang is gone. What?
I like that you got a appropriate icon for the Automata month, Forrest. It's very very nice of you.
Yeah, and I should say the letter hack did it. He updated his drawing of me that he did on his show. He wants to have you on, by the way, to draw you and like talk to you, but you have to actually physically go on to the show for him to do that. That's his his deal. But no, within I don't know, half an hour, he put up a picture of me as a robot, and I was like, all right, well, I'll use it for the rest of the month.
Zach, welcome back to the show, man. So great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, guys. It's cool to be here. I'm really excited to talk about this. This is one of my favorite movies of all time.
So let's start with that, because I was an early adopter for After Yang, which I didn't realize how horrifically horrible it was to be able to even see the damn film. But Zach, you were one of the first people I know that sounded off on this, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, awesome. And then through reading one of your logs on Letterboxd,
I've only seen it the one time.
Yeah. But when I saw you, I was like, oh yeah, that thing, because I heard about it, and I was like, here's what I heard about it. There's a lo-fi sci-fi movie about androids. Colin Farrell has a cool, weird mustache. Those are the two things I knew about it. And both of those things were true.
Yes.
And I didn't know it was the same guy who did Columbus. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how heartrending it was. I didn't know anything about it. But it was you posting about it. I was like, oh yeah, I should watch that. And then I watched it. I kept waiting for it to come on streaming to propose it for the show. I'm apparently still waiting. So yeah, how did they come to your attention, Zach?
Well, what was it at South by last year?
I think so. Yeah.
So I knew some people. As soon as I heard, I fell in love with Kogonada because of Columbus. But so whenever it was announced, I was right on top of it. Plus, and it's A24 too, right?
Yeah,
right.
So,
it's not going to be boring.
Yeah, so that's I'm always on top.
There's gonna be cool lighting, and there was.
Yeah, so between the A24 thing, the Kogonada thing, I had an awareness of it for a while. Then I knew some people that saw it at South by and were raving about it. And I was just biding my time. And it was when I was doing my yearly wrap up of catching up on things I hadn't seen to make my top 10 list. After Yang must have been one of the last 10 or so films that I saw. It was it was a couple days before Christmas. And I saw that it was on, we have a streaming service here called Crave, which kind of amalgamates all the cable stuff and HBO and whatnot. And it was on there. So I kind of lucked out to get to see it just before the year closed out in 2022.
Yeah, because this came out in 2021, right? Which is crazy.
I think it can't. No, I think it was South by Southwest 2020, or was it 2021?
Yeah, I think it was South by Southwest in 2021, and then it got released
so long.
Very early 2022, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it took so long to actually come out. Yeah, so it's a 2022 film, but people saw it in 2021, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to see if it's still on there or where it is, because I desperately I wish I had time to rewatch it for the episode. I desperately want to rewatch it. I completely fell in love with that movie.
Yeah, and Forrest, Andy, this is both y'all's first time, right?
Yeah. I hadn't heard of this movie. I try to watch, whenever I hear something from A24, I try to watch it. They've had a pretty good output. And the fact that they're, kind of cash-strapped right now to the point where they're cash-strapped to the point where they want to start making, superhero movies. It's all right, well, we really got to get better at, as a culture, at watching more of these A24 movies, because, Beau's Afraid kind of flopped for them. Not, critically, but, box office wise, yeah.
I would love to see what kind of superhero movies they do choose to do.
Well, sure, yeah.
I mean, it'd be actually interesting stuff.
Bisexual lighting man.
Maybe they can bring back the Tick with Griffin Newman. Who knows? Anything's possible. Yeah, I mean, this is so far and away from that, right? This is such a special, like, small little beautiful story that, like, and so many things it's in this great lived-in world. There's self-driving cars, but nobody's like, hey, check it out, I'm getting my self-driving car. Like, people aren't like drawing attention to it. It's just, it's part of the atmosphere of what's happening. And little things like the framing when they do like the video calls and stuff, like it changes the perspective. It's all like super subtle. I mean, that, and I've only seen the 2 films, but that's like Kogonada's like whole deal, right? Like, it's just this incredibly effortlessly sentimental without being treacly, and just like really cool visuals, like really lived in.
I'm interested in seeing. I'm on the Wikipedia right now. What before and after this movie, like which A24 movies came out? Oh, I guess it was X and The Sky Is Everywhere. I haven't seen either of those, but
X is fun.
Watch Pearl first, though.
Pearl's the better movie.
Yes.
So this movie,
I saw them. So I meant to see X in the theater. I didn't get a chance to, just scheduling things. I ended up seeing Pearl first.
Yeah.
I feel that my experience of X was much better than it would have been if I had seen them the other way around.
Right.
This movie came out.
Also, I do think Pearl is the better film.
They released it 2 weeks before X, and they released it 3 or 4 weeks before Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie came out March 4th, and Everything Everywhere All at Once came out March 25th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that tracks because some things happen, right?
But you think that like they do a little streaming push with Colin Farrell's Oscar nomination back earlier this year. They should have done
a double feature at with this movie and then Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
that would have been like a cool. Yeah.
Well, and there's I think Zach, you were the one that mentioned like, oh, maybe we were campaigning for Colin Farrell to win an Oscar for the wrong movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, can we just really quickly? I mean, Colin Farrell last year had like the best year that an actor has like ever had.
Yeah.
Between like Banshees, this, and the Batman, like that's
like covering the bases, man. Like Jesus.
Colin Farrell year.
It's currently on Canopy with a lot of the great A24 flicks. I did not know that. Okay. That's the library one, which I I've been half signed up for that for like months, and I keep forgetting to
Yeah, you ask yourself, oh, why are they not making as much money as they could? And then it's like, oh, they're giving their stuff to the library.
Go to the public library streaming service, and you can find it. Oh, great. Yeah, that's big money.
Yeah, well, and they don't even charge late fees.
It is a great mustache. Yes, I agree. It's a fantastic. That's literally how it's characterized to me. But it is weird because, well, X obviously was very popular as genre fare. Ty West always has his audience and has his has his fans, and it seemed to strike a chord, and that's cool. And then, of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once, we were a part of that zeitgeist, right? We were pushing that from like the beginning. I think it's about like April. Mia Goth, I was trying to think of her name. Damn it. And I get it, and peace and love in my heart. I'm just saying that like it's no reason for this like really kind of just wonderful little gem of a movie just to be kind of like looked over. And I don't think they help say anything to like it's hidden away. You have to like look for it.
Well, and I can testify firsthand to the fact that it was very easy to see Everything Everywhere All at Once in a movie theater.
What's your count at?
Well, in terms of just theatrical, I believe it's 35. I've seen it 40 times in total, and I think only 5 of them have been at home. So
they're probably riding the wave. They're like, okay, we're probably not going to make money on any movies for a while. Like, we're not going to clear the box office. We got to make sure that it's literally the easiest thing to see. You literally, if you throw a rock, it hits somebody that's still watching everything everywhere all at once. Why is it now? It's hard for me to say that. It's been like
you did fine when we did the episode.
But like it's the opposite. Like with After Yang, like you couldn't. It didn't play in Toronto.
Yeah,
if it did, it played in one art house theater that doesn't advertise.
I looked for it. I originally, because I was like, oh, that does sound cool. I'll look for it, see if it's playing anywhere near me. Nope. I'd have to drive to Illinois to see it. I'm like, I will not see that movie then, I guess. And that's why it took me like almost a year to freaking to see it, because it was just like, if I can't see it, I can't see it.
Yeah, I would have had to like drive to Montreal or something, which would have required going to Quebec, and I'm not.
Yeah, then you got to deal with French Canadians. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
they're just
absolutely not.
They hate SUVs. My grandmother was driving down one of the bridges in Montreal once, and I just remember all these people yelling at her in French because she was driving a Suburban in like 1989.
Yeah, well, they're French. They'll yell at you for anything.
Right, exactly.
They just want to. They want an excuse to pretend that they're angry, so they can seem.
Right.
You know.
So Kogonada is like even before Columbus, right? Like his first.
Which also was Haley Liu. Haley Liu's in that as well.
Yeah. So he started his career out as like a video essayist, and
I was going to say, does that give you hope that
yeah.
hope for
that is the pipeline that I wanted to do. Like I want to be a fucking film director at some point.
Yeah,
but like I think it's kind of. I mean, and his first essay was like a Breaking Bad essay that I think I remember. I think I remember when he dropped the POV Breaking Bad one. Like I didn't know it was him or anything, but like I think I remember seeing that. Like at least by the description. But yeah,
like,
it's kind
of criterion like extras and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, a lot of like it went from that to like getting paid to do stuff from like his video. I can't think of another person that's. I mean, besides maybe like an Adam Curtis type of like person that just does that now, right? Like I can't think of somebody that has jumped from video essays to features.
Yeah.
By the way, do I sound okay on this mic?
Yeah, I sound great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think
the new one I got yesterday.
Park Chan looked at a little bit of that, right? Before, I mean, I don't know if it's video essayist, but he came from the like the film lover critique world originally, if I remember correctly. But yeah,
well, a lot of people have done a lot of filmmakers, especially like foreign filmmakers, start out doing film critique. Like I mean, in France and in South Korea, and a lot of places. But like the video essay is obviously like a new enough format that it's like. How many people can you really think of that jump from it? I mean, I guess between this and then the Daniels jumping from making fucking like Little John videos to making everything everywhere all at once, like two kind of interesting kind of roundabout ways of getting where we want to go. But that's going to be more and more, I think, as kind of filmmaking progresses, right? Like because it's so much easier to just throw your stuff online and like make short films and make short. I mean, as that can attest.
And you learn the format, you learn editing, you learn pacing, you learn, what does and doesn't make a good shot composition. You may not be doing a narrative feature or anything, but it's something where you're going to have the mechanics and language for it. So that you have a really cool idea. And I'll say again, having seen the two feature length films, have a really good world in your mind of what it's going to be, then you're off to the races. Just get some talent, people to be on the screen, and on you go.
Yeah. I mean, like that whole music video to director thing has been a long established trope at this point. Because I mean, we covered it a bit with tape heads, and I will actually stand by this. The Crow City of Angels is very competently directed as far as like the technical side of things. Right. There are problems with that movie. That's not this episode, but like aesthetically, like it nails it. And I think it's all from thinking about things through the lens of a video filmmaker.
Yeah, well, and there's plenty of Spike Jonze. I mean, even David Fincher did some videos. Like it's a pretty common thing. But I think that like we're kind of getting into the weeds a little bit here. I think it is notable that we placed this after Blade Runner, right? And I think that makes sense. And do you guys, now that you've seen it, do you agree that like it makes sense to place after Blade Runner?
100%.
Yeah, and they're far better than my suggestion of Blade.
They're literally 40 years apart, the two movies.
Yeah.
Like
because it brings up a lot of the same ideas, and it's that whole like I just adore that line. When talking about like did he ever want to be human? And like her reaction to that is so fantastic. Like, why do everyone always think that, that's what everyone wants? Like, why would you want to be human?
Yeah, the egocentrism of the human race asking those questions in sci-fi all the time.
And it's so great to actually hear
that. A clone, which kind of, I mean, they don't go into I wish they go into the clone stuff more because I want to know like how many. Well,
after the Clone Wars, you really want to see more clones.
No, it's like population statistics. Like, are clones common? Like, do they hide that they're? Because it seems like they hide that they're clones, and like maybe they live in the shadows. Like, they couldn't give out the girl's name, Ada's name to him. You know what I mean? Like,
all right. So I kind of disagree because first of all, this is just slightly over 90 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that if you start packing that stuff in, what does it have to do with the ultimate story? Like, it's interesting. It's cool.
Even for the sequel. After Yin.
well done. How long are you holding on to that one?
All day.
Okay.
I don't think that you do a lot more. I don't know. Like my interest was piqued. One of the things that piqued it is definitely like and his kind of like casual clone phobia that he doesn't seem to realize that he has. But like,
which he gets called out on,
he gets called out, but also his wife seems to react to it. The neighbors, like like
he was pissed off that the neighbors' kids are cloned, and it's just like, dude, like what does it matter?
How does that affect you? How does that affect your life at all?
Yeah.
Is it like I don't know? It's kind of, and also I guess the thing about clones is like because they cloned somebody else's great aunt, you know what I mean? Like in that part of it, like that's what they explain, and it's kind of like. Is it like a reproduction without reproducing thing? And the other thing that I had a question about is like they like it seems like Chinese adoptions are very. Did something happen to China in this world? Like it seems like
So no, I was just gonna say there's little clues that are like not explicitly said in the movie.
Yeah.
But if you look at like there's little like news articles and things in there that's like, oh yeah, there was like some crazy war, and basically their domestic setup of raising an Asian child is like that's meant to be like rather common in the world without anyone actually saying it's crazy how we had that 50-year war and how we have to raise all these Asian children now.
But like we were doing that with Korean kids, when we were younger. I remember that was like a trend, and adopting Korean or Vietnamese children. And so like it's not that uncommon of a thing too. So especially if there was some kind of war in this world.
Well, it's common enough in this. Like it seems like the main function of the androids is to be like an older brother, specifically for Chinese children, right? Like like when they're like, oh, we make older siblings for Chinese children. Like
so they have someone to teach them about their culture, and so they don't feel so culturally isolated.
It's so somebody could introduce them to Blade Runner, like we were as children. No.
By the way, the quote is that Ada says, he asks, did Yang ever want to be human? She says, that's such a human thing to ask, isn't it? You always assume other beings would want to be human. And it's like,
the Kogonada,
too real.
I'll pull it up, but there's an interview clip where he says that he wanted to avoid the Pinocchio trope.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and I like that he calls it
because you expect it. You expect it almost because we're just so used to seeing it.
Data.
Was it the Spielberg movie? I mean, like all those like
AI.
It's just which I know that was not included in this month, by the way.
Yes. I mean, it's a fine movie.
It's fine. It's just, man, come on.
There's nothing to talk about with it.
Yeah,
it's not on the same level as Blade Runner or After Yang.
Right. We like to cover big populous fare. AI doesn't need movie night extravaganza's help. After Yang might. If we can turn on a couple of people to watch this cool movie with this discussion, great.
Well,
if we get two people to watch it, that increases its viewer count by like 50%.
That's better than the actual ad campaign. Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad we're helping out that small film that nobody has yet seen, 2001: A Space Odyssey, at the end of the month.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you do things because it's big and gracious. But yeah, like so the Pinocchio syndrome, right? Well, and also think about how Asian folks are generally represented in science fiction, right? Which is generally like automatons.
Yes.
Like, I mean, usually, like
Harry Kim.
Right. Exactly. They tend to be more emotionless and more. It's a whole thing, and I like the idea, and I can't remember Forrest if this is included in the features or anything, but like with Kogonada talking about like he's had these these incredibly like rich, immersive conversations with like other Asian people about these huge issues, and that you just don't ever see that depicted in film.
Yeah.
No.
So let's have a bunch of white guys talk about it. Great.
We're representing the Colin Farrell contingent.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is he went to like the New York Film Festival, I think this is, but this is him talking about before he's showing the movie, and there's a bunch of different little parts in this. Like I guess they cut it together in a kind of awkward way. Like there's pauses between the things, but
feels like such an honor. It feels humbling and exciting, So, I've known about the festival. It looms large in my mind, and to be able to close out this festival is really
it's the
great.
AFI
one of the
festival.
producers, Tressa Park, had sent me the collection and asked me to read one story that wasn't this story, and I loved this story. It was called The Cartographers, but it didn't necessarily resonate in regards to me making or adapting it. But I found another short story that I really responded to, and I think it was such a grounded vision of the future, and I love that it was just through the lens of a family. It was a domestic lens, and often when you deal with sci-fi, it's the end of the world and you're only following like heroes and villains, but this was just telling the story of in the short story is just a day in the life of this father who is a bit annoyed that this robot has been broken, and by the end of the day, he has some memories about the robot, and he kind of discovers grief that he didn't know he had. But there, in that small story, there was like seeds of so many things that I wanted to explore. And one of it was that the robot was Asian. The writer's not Asian, but even the idea of the construct of Asianness, like an Asian robot, it is like a manufactured Asian robot. And I think as someone who is a part of the diaspora, I think anyone who's a part of the diaspora, you understand that feeling of the construct of your identity living outside of that space. And so I wanted to explore that as well. The story is really following this father who is trying to fix this robot for his daughter. They've in this sort of future world, you can buy robots to be like surrogate siblings, and there's a specific kind of surrogate siblings for adopted children. She's a Chinese, that you can buy like a cultural robot that will help them connect to their heritage, and that's who Yang is. And he's trying to fix Yang mostly just for his daughter, and also because the Yang has almost become a babysitter. So as a parent, it allows them to be a bit more free. So it's really like this act to do it, not out of compassion or because but really out of convenience. But through that process, he discovers more and more about Yang, and has really literally has to contend with memories about Yang. Yeah. Being someone who, I was born in Korea, but I came to America very young. I was a toddler. And so most of my life has been sort of navigating a Western world, a largely white Western world, and trying to understand, both. But I, of course, am Asian. Like when people see me, they have a ton of assumptions and expectations, and that I have had to contend with. And sometimes it's a perception of Asianness that I don't even have about myself. And so it's this sort of ongoing struggle to know what it means to be Asian, if I'm Asian enough. And sometimes, sometimes you feel too Asian or not Asian. So that is like, I think, again, for people who are in that feeling displaced, that's an ongoing struggle. So it really was a way to try to sort through this longing for place, And though it's specifically Asian in this story, and my struggle is specifically Asian, I think we live in a modern world, and I think this feeling of alienation, displacement is universal. I don't think I think all of us can feel that need to belong and to feel connected in the world. So I think in this larger way, because Jake is also, at the beginning, the father in the story is adrift. He feels disconnected to his family. He feels like the thing that he thought he loved, which was tea, and was trying to make a business of it, is that he's lost whatever passion or belief he's had in that as well. So I think most sci-fi is like the future is dystopian. You see metal and glass, and it's about some large world struggle. And this exists in the film, but it's all very backgrounded. And when I watch sci-fi, I think the thing that I find myself longing for is like knowing how normal people are trying to get through the day. I'll see some big sci-fi, and sometimes in the background you see a family, and I'm like, what is their life like? And we will sometimes be in the midst of world events, like there's a war going on in Ukraine, but most people are still just trying to get through a day. And I just thought, God, I would love a sci-fi in which you're stuck in a domestic space and you're figuring out what the struggles of their lives are. So and then the other thing was also presenting a more organic kind of future. I had this sort of backstory that there was some cataclysmic climate event that this was a sort of post-apocalyptic story, that this society was sort of emerged from disaster and had to make peace with nature. So I also wanted to kind of create a different type of aesthetic that was more organic, and there weren't floating screens and metal and glass everywhere.
How successful too, because it is absolutely that. Like it's and that's why it pops so much as a movie, is because there's these real human interactions that are maybe in a situation where the trappings aren't what we're used to. I mean, like relatable things like the fact, like, yo, you need some space marriage counseling going on, bro. Like you're not talking to each other at all.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like
space marriage counseling. Thank you.
The world is both very mundane, as it obviously would be, but also it feels very isolated, right? Like everybody in it seems like they're still trying to, almost like the post-pandemic kind of thing, where it's like everybody's back in the world, but they're still kind of isolated from each other. Like there's this feeling of there's like a lot of space in this movie. I feel like
getting together and doing stupid shit online.
Yeah,
like the dancing, which is amazing.
Video chat calls. What do you guys think about that? By the way, the way that they framed the video chat calls, I thought was cool.
Where it's like straight on to everybody. But
it's also like it's not the full screen, right? Like it's almost like it's jarring at first because you don't exactly see what they're doing.
Right.
It just kind of jumps right into it. You're like, oh,
I think it's so hard to portray that in an interesting manner because we're so used to seeing it. I mean, we were seeing, look at Blade Runner. They couldn't predict the cell phone, but there's FaceTime.
Yeah.
And it also prints out a Polaroid, which is all right. But anyway,
a lot of movies do it, but you see like the shape of the phone, like they're like, oh, let's try to do it in the shape of the phone. In this, like trying to develop what the technology is, like it's just kind of like a screen and then the person on it. Like I thought that was cool that they didn't even try to do it like hey honey, how's it going? Like it's on you just see it through the eyes of whatever the technology is.
It feels very true to life and how you would see a video call, but it also feels hyper artistic in a Kogonada way, which is cool because if I see one more movie where text messages are conveyed by just the text bubbles appearing on screen while a character
and it goes
well, like we're seeing a character from like this way, they're looking at their phone, and then I'm going to shoot myself in the middle of the movie theater.
So hacky, and I'm so
it is, but like I do appreciate that they're trying something. At least the first time it was done.
The first time, sure, but this is like 101st time.
I know. It's like, come up with something different, people. Come on.
Which is why that's so cool, and like you do indeed have to hand it to him that he found a way not only to do it different, but it's like super cool looking, like it's super artistic looking.
I feel like that's the thing about Kogonada though, is like almost everything just stylistically, visually. The worst that you can accuse it of is that it's been done twice. Is you could say, you could be like, that was in, like that. You could be like, well, he did that in Columbus too. Obviously, not the video call thing. That's because there weren't video calls in Columbus. But
they don't have that technology yet.
So, like, he is genuinely just like he has one of the most unique senses of just visual to me of like any filmmaker.
He's got a great mise en scene too, and like it's again, it's kind of astounding because like when I saw Columbus, like this is his first freaking movie. This is like insane. Like there's no way. Like they had to have like 4 others before this, right? Nope. Okay.
The closest I can think of him is he's like hyper naturalistic Wes Anderson.
Yes.
Whereas Wes Anderson is incredibly whimsical, and it's very much like it's a caricature of a world that he's making. Like
Kogonada and unfeeling in a lot of ways.
Kogonada is doing it with he's literally just doing it with places that exist on Earth. He's not building sets and shit. Like the house in After Yang is just a house.
Yeah, which I want to talk about the house because like it's interesting because it's a very Japanese feeling house. The way there's like different, the rooms are kind of set off, and there's like a garden in the middle of it, and you see the little girl like walking, opening up the the door and walking out, and it's just but it's also not like in your face Japanese either. It's just subtly, and it's just like that's an interesting thing that here's this guy obsessed with tea living in an Asian style house. And it's just
but he doesn't have yellow fever like so many other many other dudes in that situation.
The thing where you just kind of hang out at a tea shop all day and like
I really wanted like the tea shop. First of all, I love it, and secondly, like it's such a bummer because you're like, oh, nobody comes to your tea shop, dude. Like, and then when that one chick does, and she wants the crystals, and he's like, that's not like what I do.
Have you ever been to a tea shop before? Because every single time I go in, there's a woman just like that, who's like demanding something that they don't carry, and it's always great. Like I remember my personal favorite one is just this woman kept asking for this, like, okay, how about this tea? Ma'am, that's a hallucinogen. We can't sell that. Like, how about this one? That's also a hallucinogen.
Well, and then I like that one of the things it gets into is the conversation between Jake and Yang, right? Where they're talking about the tea, and they're kind of like more or less bonding about it, frankly.
Yeah. Well, then he's like, I should have this android run my tea shop when I'm gone. Like, I gotta teach you how to do the tea.
But there is this thing that like, even though Yang can't experience the tea as a human could, he finds things to love about it, right? And they're finding a deeper connection as friends and family members through this thing that obviously is big enough for Colin Farrell's character to ostensibly devote his life to. I'm sorry, that tea shop ain't bringing in no money. Just FYI. That's
it's the A24 business ideas,
right?
And tea has such a large, oversized. Thing.
We're never get a sponsorship that way, but okay, yeah.
but yeah, no. And tea is such like an oversized thing in Asian culture, and like there's a Japanese tea ceremony. If you ever have a chance to witness one of those, do it because it's kind of incredible.
Well, there's a lot of there's like most cities have like a Japanese museum in the United States that they all have like professionally done tea ceremonies.
I mean, we actually had a guest on Conan Neutron on this episode that actually sometimes actually does do public displays of Japanese tea ceremonies, which is
public displays of tea.
Yes.
By the way, I want to say because we talked about the mise en scene of this movie. The film, like the cinematographer, is the same one that did Dream Scenario, which I still haven't seen, but I know you
cool.
have.
It looked amazing.
It's great. It's great. It's not. It
falls apart a bit, I think, but
slightly, but not. It kind of sticks. I think it sticks the landing. I felt it resonated with me by the end.
I liked the first half more than the second half, but I did enjoy it, and visuals are freaking awesome. I mean, the visuals were great in that, and like. Great Nicolas Cage performance, but that's interesting because I know that I don't know the person's name, but that person's worked on a lot of cool stuff, and I think that there's a lot of great shot composition too. We talked about the video calls, right? But how about like Yang's memories? That like, I mean, they're all 69, right? I mean, like, and that's a great way to be like, oh yeah, he's experiencing something else, and the idea of. That he captures a certain part of each day, right? And that's part of like the record is like I don't know if you've ever seen any of the projects where it does that, but it's always like really fascinating to be like, well, what's the part of this day that's captured, right? And then you see it all like put together. It's like, oh, that's crazy,
Yeah. Well, and it's like, if an android could experience things, what would they care about? And it's like, well, he cares about the little girl that he's tutoring. That he's like, he's there to just mediate her culture and her heritage at first, right? Ends up raising her like a parent almost, but like that he's mostly just there to mediate her experience. He loves, he meets the girl, which it's kind of crazy that the android could just like nobody knows that the android could just meet a girl and be like, yeah, I'm into this, like, you know what I mean, like
just spit some game at the hot blonde at the coffee shop. Yeah.
And the weird thing is it's like
they're just never home, right? Like, how do they, like, I guess they're always at work, so I guess that's how he manages to like have a whole life that they're like, we weren't paying attention to the fact that he's not here. Like, at one point he's at a fucking rave or a concert or something.
Now, I
get the money for tickets for that. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a Mitski, right? It's a Mitski show. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, no, I thought the character was interesting too. That she's almost like the yin to his yang.
All right, calm down.
But like also like yang does represent the male side of the yin and yang. Yin.
No, we got it. Yeah,
like,
it was.
No. Like, but these are actually like part of the meanings. There's a fun movie called Shadows that I'm going to blank on the director's name, but one of my favorite Chinese directors did. And the whole thing about the movie is about the yin and yang, and it's like, oh, he fights with a masculine style, so I must use a feminine style to combat his masculine style of fighting. Whatever. I mean, that's like the and it's most like
it's like trying to get a point in on this show.
Yeah, stupidest way of describing it. But anyways, yeah, no, but because that there is actually a male and female.
Ada, who's a clone, she's also not human. She's not a what? It's not a what's the word? The robot sapien, android sapien. What is it?
Yeah.
Technosapien.
Technosapien. Yeah. So she's not that, but she's also not considered in the same class of human, which again leads to her just with that just absolutely scathing quote when when Colin Farrell asked, did he ever want to be human, right? And it was like, oh man, and it's like something that has needed to be asked in sci-fi and answered in that way for like decades.
Yes. And by the way, Benjamin Lamb was the cinematographer of this movie, and he also worked on Mandy.
Yeah, that was his first feature film.
Dude, Mandy is insane. Like I love Mandy dearly. Mandy is like insane cinema that is insane, but it looks incredible too. Like even people I know that like are like, I didn't like it, but goddamn did that look cool.
By the way, Andy, do you know where Kogonada got his?
It's nuts.
Do you know where he got his name? Because that's not like his he gave himself. He was
not off the top of my head. I didn't realize I needed to look that up, so I didn't bother.
So his name comes from Ozu, like the film director, like Japanese director. His cinematographer that he worked with on a lot of his films.
Okay.
So he gave himself because he's like a film nerd. He does video essays. You know what I mean? Like he gave himself a name, like a diaspora name, kind of.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's like that weird movie about the Book of the Dead where this guy's named Akira Kurosawa for some reason, and he's obsessed with the guy with Toby Hooper films. Like,
all right, calm down.
But whatever.
So, for me though, like all of the trappings, and he was talking about this in this clip, right? Are more because this is really like a film about like loss and what loss means to you.
Yeah.
Because and like there's small scenes like when the Mika, the little girl, was talking about how she would like wake up in the middle of the night, basically conscript Yang to go get water with her, which is sort of like, oh no, that was their ritual. They like doing it. It's the thing they like doing together. And like there's so many little small moments like that again it's we get to learn along with Jake as he just forensically goes through all these like memories, which is one of the coolest interfaces ever, by the way. Like most movies would like leaned into the fact that you have this like matrix kind of, there it is. Okay, mark the time, 45 minutes. Had to get it in there. Like you get this like unraveling of the secret life that first time I watched, I was like, oh, it's gonna go dark. It's gonna go dark, and because you just expected there's gonna be some like, oh, it's you're thinking of like another Ridley Scott movie like Alien or something, right? Where it's like, oh, like the android's like spying on them for this nefarious purpose, and it never goes that way. And I'm so glad it doesn't, because it's like, oh, why are we expecting that to happen? Because we're just used to seeing that.
That's also too much of a thing recently in movies where there has to be a sinister twist because there has to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like everything is like it's like the banality of the everyday of the
exactly
all of the antagonism in the film.
And which is sinister in its own way, because like, they really are collecting all this data on us. And like, the second you recycle, like it's the same thing with, any kind of phone, right? You trade your phone in like a refurbished phone, and then they could take stuff off it. That's why they always say, hey, delete everything on your phone before you trade it in. Like it's the same kind of thing. But I mean, it is like almost like the banality of like a disposable. And there's a lot of cool shots in this that are kind of also kind of dark, where it's like just the body of Yang on somebody's lap, or like,
yeah, because what if one of your family members was as disposable as a phone?
Yeah,
right, which is horrifying, because he gets them aftermarket. and because of that, he has a hard time like getting him service, which is sort of like, well, of course you would if you were on a budget. If like, say you have, ostensibly a 2-paycheck household, and one of them is successful and one of them is running that tea shop. Yeah, man, I'm sure you gotta cut corners. You're like, it's good enough. It's fine. We don't need the Apple support.
Well, and like
the brothers and sisters support package.
No one really thinks about like, hey, I should maybe like try to check that this isn't like traded in multiple times, right? Like the assumption is just like, oh, this has been one person had it for 5 days, and of course that's not the case. Like, of course, there was another thing that happened and somebody traded in before that. Like this is
like an entire lifetime too.
Yeah,
like that's the amazing thing is like, what year is this set in? Because if this robot spent the entire lifetime with this other family. Where he watched a child grow up and the matriarch die of old age.
Yeah.
Like, man, like.
Well, and then you have to be like, well, that's kind of a life, isn't it? Like I was just thinking, and Colin Farrell's character like really only kind of thinks of him as an attaché that's like, hey, quit dancing. We already lost. Like that kind of like that level of engagement.
He's also clone phobic, so it's like
Well, I mean, it's kind of his journey of understanding the humanity. And I mean, humanity. I don't it's not the right word for this. But it's like what
he's the Archie Bunker of clones.
Well, it's not even. He's pretty.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, I know. I'm not trying to disagree. I'm not trying to disagree with that. I'm saying, like I was thinking of a word while you were like before you made the joke. Like I was thinking, like he's almost like very narcissistic. Like he's very wrapped up in his own.
He's
thing,
wrapped
right?
up in his keep trying to keep his tea shop going. The dude likes tea. Like when there's that thing of like, I wish tea could be just fun facts for me. Which is like. Yo, hard relatable. Like when someone's like, "Oh, music fun," it's like, I wish music was just fun for me. That sounds great. I assure you, it is fun sometimes.
Yang wants to experience the tea as he's experiencing
he
it.
wants to.
He wants to experience the tea as like kind of just like this mediated thing, and not like now the thing that's consuming his life. Like he's the brewed tea bag at the end of the fucking thing,
Well, yeah, and I think that's notable
or the crystals.
Because think about, like what he's capturing too. Like, why is he capturing these moments? And they're all like these kind of, it's just like memories we actually make. We don't remember. I barely remember what I did yesterday, right? But there's certain memories that you hold on to, and that becomes an important part of your identity and becomes a part of the life of the people around you. And ideally, it's positive stuff and it means something. But the absence of it is. It's nice to be reminded, but it's heartrending, and this does a great job of writing that balance beam, I think.
White people really do be loving those crystals, though. Right. No, like I mean the tea crystal, like they make them to look like actual.
They like crystal meth too, but yeah, the tea crystals especially.
Have you ever seen white people on crystal tea? They look worse than regular white people, and all white people are disgusting.
I was making like a really warm, heartrending point, and that's what comes in. Okay, sure. But it's it's unvarnished, right? And that's like the memory is what it is, and I like that there's certain things where it repeats, where it almost seems like it happened at. It happened at different times, but it's the same memory, but you see it almost like parallax view, right? Like Rashomon effect, like where it's like, okay, like this is sort of like from one perspective, this is from another, but this is the same memory, but it gives you the impression that it's happening multiple times, which is how memory is with humans.
Yes. And it's different takes too. So like
I've never seen that.
Slightly different too. So it's it's like it's jarring in a way. It's
you're also like hearing
a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where they do like the multiple edits for the kick.
Right. Well, it's like you're hearing his thoughts, right? Like you're also hearing because a couple of times he says the thing he's about to say, like his brain is say this, and then he's like this, which I'm surprised his brain wasn't like Chinese fun facts, like
Chinese fun facts.
I like how excited he gets whenever he might get to tell them Chinese fun facts. He's like, I know you have lots of fun facts about tea. He's like, I do. You want to hear some?
Yeah,
he
gets so excited.
No,
like, not
really.
I
see. As I said, I would have listened to the Chinese fun facts. I would be interested in them.
Yeah,
that's what it's like having Andy around.
Exactly.
Zach,
what do you think Andy's short for?
Zach, how you feel about the depiction of memory in this? Do you feel like it's pretty rad too?
It's incredible. It's like the thing. I mean, I love everything about this movie. Like, I don't have a single thing I can impeach it on, but I think the thing that takes it from this movie I love to like, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, this is like top 25, 30 material at worst for me. Is the portrayal of memory. I mean, like my whole Letterboxd review is like about how like, holy shit, this is the first time a movie has ever captured memory the way. And look, I don't know if that's how everyone experiences memory, but that's like I don't, you know, I get my Letterboxd review starts with, I'm talking about there's some like ravine behind my house or something. Like, you know, if you asked me what happened in that ravine on August 30th, 2011, I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you, like, I remember just little flashes of specific things, and I know what the sensory experience and what it sounds like and looks like to like walk across that bridge, because I walked across it 1,000 times. Yeah. Going back from school, like, to have a movie like just capture like those, you know, rather than a whole flashback sequence, the 2 or 3 seconds that are so vivid in your mind, that are so crucial, the way that person looked when they were watching. I mean, that's literally one of the memories in the film. Like the way that woman looked when she was watching a concert and turned towards it at a particular note or chord.
Yeah,
like it's fucking phenomenal. It's genuinely like, I haven't had the chance to rewatch it. I haven't seen the movie for a year, and I've only seen it once.
But it stuck with you enough that you remember all that.
Those
stuff,
sequences
you know?
are burned into my brain. Like, I think they're burned in my. I could never watch the movie again, and I think those moments are stuck with me for the rest of my life. Now, that's not gonna be the case, because I intend to watch this movie many times. I just had a busy year.
Yeah,
but,
you're a little busy. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's it's. No notes.
But it's in a movie about, you know, the robot brother.
Yeah.
/ nanny / butler. You know, I mean, like, it's
and it's been like a family pet too. Like,
right.
I mean, like, I think I'm the only person here who has kids, and we had a cat that died, and you know, my kid was in 1st grade, and it was hard on them.
Sure. Yeah.
So you know, it brought back a lot of like those feelings of just like, you know, when your kid is hurting like that and there's nothing you can do, that also is just like such like, it's so alienating, because like you know, you yourself are also, you know, grieving at the same time.
Right. And all you can do is help guide them through it. You can't actually fix what the problem is.
Yeah.
Which in this case, that's what Colin Farrell's trying to do. He's trying to like, no, we can fix them, and everyone's like, no, sir, we definitely can't. This is refurbished. Like what is it? Oh, the one, oh my god, what is it? They're like, oh, we can take his voice box and personality and make him an AI. I was like, oh, like that's like, yeah, we can stuff him, but on the mantle. No, I'm good, man.
It's like he's on his phone now. It's like, yeah, here's Yang.
That sounds horrific. That sounds worse than just like having him be gone.
Yeah.
All I can think of is that meme of like the person who got their cat taxidermied, but the person like fucked it up, and it just looks like Jabba the Hutt's like pet thing from Return of the Jedi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the one with the flat head, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about the that's a very dark topic. I feel like I'm not, full disclosure, not someone who particularly enjoys dancing. What a great opening credits scene, though.
I thought we were going to start with that, because at the beginning, like,
me too, but we got away from it. So.
That might genuinely be the greatest opening credit sequence of all time.
It has to. It's got to be up there. It's so.
It's like a TikTok dance almost too. It's like they all know it. They're like.
And I heard before,
and those two twins are terrible at it. That they never seem to get like kicked off.
Anyway, I heard like, you know, I heard like whispers about like dance sequence, whatever, from like early Letterboxd reviews. Yeah. But like when I actually sat down to watch the movie, I had no idea where it was in the film. I had no idea what it was. Like, my jaw was on the fucking floor of my living room for that entire sequence.
Well, and it's just like it's right there at the jump. And it's and like you're like, is this going to factor in heavily? Is this going to be a dance related movie? No, not really.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
No, like it introduced all the characters.
Yeah, it is a great way to introduce.
I have a thing for this. Let me see that.
All right, lay it on us.
I think this is the right one.
Genuinely impressed with that. I mean, what a cool way to do it. What a screenshot.
This is what it looks like every time I like I go to upload like a video on Twitter and it's stuck in the beginning or whatever. You can't control where it starts.
Right.
Rocked shameful camel toe.
I have a picture.
I remember that picture.
After Yang is a sci-fi film that opens with a group dance sequence. Did any of you have experience dancing?
I have never been a dancer. I mean, I love to dance. In my head, I'm a classical ballerina.
Absolutely no dance experience except some drunken nights on the dance floor at some weddings. And I think that really came through in the movie. You guys destroyed it though. So I thought you definitely have some dance experience, Colin.
I earned a living as a dancer once. I mean, I use the term dancer very loosely because it was country and western dancing in Ireland.
What?
Deathly silent.
Footage.
It's online. It's tragic. It's online. It's me in a denim Wrangler shirt with cut off sleeves and a choker. It's terrible.
My favorite part was when you were like this.
We were all drenched in sweat, I remember.
Because we were wearing like plastic outfits as well.
That's right, our glitter onesies.
Yeah. And you remember, Colin, costumes accidentally swapped our onesies. So you put on mine at first and I
did put on yours and I rocked shameful camel toe. Shameful camel toe. Yeah. I remember that picture.
So how does the dance help set up the world director Kogonada created?
When I saw it in the film, it was such a gorgeous introduction to an oddness that is pervasive throughout the film. And I thought it was just a lovely way to kind of shake the audience into the idea that they were entering a very specific world, because he's such a specific filmmaker, Kogonada. The film is an exploration of home life and family and love. And to go in and have that dance, which was so odd and so awkward at the start, really kind of set the tone for a world that was very foreign and yet familiar somehow.
Jodie, this was shot very early in your film career. Did you feel any pressure coming onto set?
I mean, it wasn't my first film, but it was my second.
Yeah, it was only your second. It was.
Before you start anything, there's that pressure, that fear, that like, do I even know what I'm doing? You always sort of have this crisis of identity before you start filming where you're like, I'm an imposter and I don't know what I'm doing. You sort of take this leap of faith and you also go, here are all these extremely talented people who believe that I can do this. So I just need to show up and do it.
Colin, your character owns a tea shop in the film. How did you learn so much about tea ceremonies?
Always have loved ritual, any kind of system of deliberate behavior, conscious behavior, with the intention of a goal. The ritual of the tea ceremony was really beautiful and it was really, really gentle, and it became a conduit into Jake's inner world and also the isolation of Jake. And I drank a lot of tea throughout the shoot. I did a lot of little tea ceremonies on my own in my hotel room.
Justin, your skin looks amazing, by the way.
You do look incredible. You're looking very yangish.
Wow, you are. I'm like,
you're looking very techno-sapien, handsome. Yeah.
That rocks.
Colin Farrell hitting on Justin Min at the end there.
Yeah. There's so much to unpack there.
You kind of look like an android.
Before we go to the dancer, just a little aside, like how fucking incredible is Justin Min in this movie?
Oh, he's so good. Yeah. He's so good.
Like Colin Farrell is the, rightly praised because it's I think it's the best performance he had last year.
It's this, Banshees, and the Batman.
Yeah, but
all
I
in the same year.
This is the best of the three performances. But Justin Min is like right up there.
Can I tell you, Justin Min is awesome in Shortcomings, which I just saw.
Dude, I saw you saw it. I loved Shortcomings.
Shortcomings was great. And by the way, I feel like you almost get a baseline 3 stars when something's centered in the Bay Area, just because that's where I'm from. But that is a really great movie, and he's really good in it. Like that's a good, well-rounded. Kick-ass movie. And so and I haven't seen him in much. I've seen him in this. I've seen him in that.
He was in Beef.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yeah.
He's like the pastor in Beef.
He's a youth
and Umbrella Academy.
Beef was fucking unreal. Like that is one of
That's
the
a good
best
show.
shows I've ever seen in my life.
But okay, so like, A, he's awesome. B, I feel like the fact it's an all-male panel, we're dropping the lead in the fact that Colin Farrell, I'm sorry, he was doing like sexy Western dancing? Like that's like, hello.
Yeah, apparently he was also a suspect in an attempted murder case because he just happened to look.
He's like one of his own characters.
He just happened to look like a police sketch, and he was traveling in Australia, and they were like, "Oh, you look like the guy from this police sketch," so they brought him in, I guess. And he blacked out, so he didn't remember what he had done that night. So the way he got out of, I don't know, I'm reading Wikipedia. The way he got out of the attempted murder thing is that his friend had a journal that he was writing everything in that he had done. And it was like, oh no, I guess we were taking like ecstasy in Sydney the night of that thing. So we couldn't have been involved in the attempted murder case. And that's how he got off.
Oh, there you go. It's an easy out. I didn't know Jodie Turner-Smith that much. I've since seen her. She was in White Noise. I know she's in Neon Demon is like one of her first things, but like she was like a model, but before being an actress.
Yeah, she's striking.
Like, you know,
yeah.
And
last year was her first movie or second.
She and Queen Slim.
Yes, Queen and Slim. Yeah, which I think came out.
So I guess that came out before. That came out after, or it came out before, but it was shot after. I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So, but it's she was really good too. I mean, it's a strong cast, and again, it's cool. So, getting back to the opening sequence, right? Like you are actually getting introduced to all the characters, including the closest thing to like a right-wing dude, it looks like, in this movie, which is the guy who cracks.
I'm glad to see libertarians made it through the war.
Right, exactly. They made it on the other side.
And I mean, he's not wrong though about the whole like.
He's not wrong at all.
Like we're dealing with that now with the fact that like farmers can't fix their own farm equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
well, I mean, they do it with phones too. If you try to fix your own phone, you void the warranty, and that's so that they can sell you a new phone, right? It's planned obsolescence. But like, imagine that with like a human, like, well, what appears to be at least like a human being, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, at least at the very minimum, like a family pet. But yeah, that is still a member of the family.
Well, and there's that is the professor, Dr. Sarita, she was in Green Knight.
Yes.
Sarita, whatever her last name is. I can't remember off the top of my head. She's great too. She's a great, oh yeah, she's awesome. She's in like Lady in the Water, one of the best things about Lady in the Water, frankly.
Was it Chodri? Chody?
Yeah. She's rad in this. And like, cause at first she's like, oh, like we're just watching, cause at first you're like, oh, this is like these 5 families or whatever in competition, and they're like 3,000 families have been eliminated. It's like, oh no, we're just seeing the people relevant to what we're about to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those twins, by the way, are just failing it. Like I don't feel like this time I was like,
I didn't get that the first time. Well, obviously, like I just got that today. I'll rewatch because I watched it twice. Yeah. I got that today. I was like, oh, that's the lady from the museum.
Yeah, because you're like, oh wait, I saw them early on. So you see everyone you're going to see in the movie in the opening sequence, but in a way that has never, that I'm aware of, ever been depicted in film before.
Well, and that feels like another version of this, like everybody feels like
Peacemaker.
They're together.
I mean, like that's all
they feel like they're together. They feel like they're together at the same time as like being isolated from each other.
Yeah,
like one way that they all are able to all like conjoin or whatever. Or whatever, like is the fact that they could do this competition. They call
this unifying experience of doing these silly dances in front of the television for
and you see like the neediness of the one guy that has all the clones, right? Like next door that wants to hang out with them.
Who are terrible.
Right. That guy also seems like he's a little vaguely right wing, like because he's the guy that introduces him to the fucking other libertarian guy. Like I wonder if
listen to the podcast.
There's just like a group of them. I wonder, like they're all like, oh, I bet there's spyware in there, and like that's what they talk about.
Probably is. But I think that, so it's interesting. All this gets tied together, and there's so much time spent in Yang's memory bank, which again is all letterboxed, right? Not the site, the frame.
Yeah, it's just nothing but letterbox reviews. It's his memories. It's wild.
Like 69 versus being, and it's rare someone can like make you aware of aspect ratio in an artful way, but he manages to pull it off.
Yeah.
Because every time he's got like those freaking goggles on, are you watching? I'm watching documentary. Is it about tea? Is it boring you to tears? Hilarious because he's crying when it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. But you get all these and I'm guilty as anyone else that the first time I saw this, I was like, it's gonna be like getting up to nonsense. he's gonna be there's gonna be like some murder or something, or he did something nefarious, and it's like, oh no, not really. He just is living life. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, it's kind of the
why
same
did I think
thing
that?
It's kind of
same
the
thing
same
with Come On. By the way, I felt the same way
Yeah.
about Come On when I saw it. I kept expecting something horrible to happen. There was like nothing horrible happened. Why did I think there was something horrible was going to happen like every 10 minutes?
Well, it's the same thing with the spying, right? Like the banality of stuff. It's like when you really like think about it after the fact, it's like, well, like this is just some family, you know what I mean? Like it's probably not like it's not like they're gonna be the ones with the spying. What I thought it was gonna be revealed in the end that his wife's been cheating on him and she wasn't going to the office. That's what I don't know why.
Well, because they clearly are at loggerheads, and it's pretty apparent they probably had discussions about this goddamn tea store in the past and how he's just basically standing around there all day like waiting for a customer to show up.
She's working hard. She's working like overtime, and he's like, I didn't tell any tea today.
I can speak firsthand. That's stressful.
It's one of those things that like people get incredibly interested in these like very specialized skills, like the tea ceremonies, right? Yeah. And it's like if that thing is not in the zeitgeist, or if it's not taking off the way that it should be, or if they invent something that undercuts it, right? Like who the fuck is like, oh well, I'm in the middle of I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, but like I'm in the middle of this this new world. I really want a tea, like an official tea ceremony. If the person's not thinking that, right, and they're just looking for convenience, like the stupid tea crystals the white people be drinking, that thing is now like obsolete. And it's like, you might know, like, because he does a really beautiful little tea ceremony and he's showing him how to do it, but it's like if nobody wants that,
it's a boutique thing. It's a boutique item. Well, first, actual tea is a boutique item, but the tea as a ritual and as something that you would want to have in your life for psychological purposes, for meditative purposes, what have you, is not in vogue. And not that it's in vogue now, at least in the U.S., right? But like, it's obviously much more so. At least there's a tea time in England. And
I mean, y'all know how much tea I drink, and which is a lot. I have some right now, but
I love like when he's sharing the experience with Yang, right? About like. And then he about the documentary about tea, where he goes into his, frankly, killer Werner Herzog impersonation.
Yeah,
like it's really good. It's like oh man, that is really good.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that until you brought it up. Like,
it's a real documentary. Yeah. And
he says his German friend, and it's like I would never assume like the German friend is Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Unless you said German dodocumentary filmmaker, then I absolutely would assume that was Werner Herzog.
But it's such. Oh, go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, isn't Wim Wenders German?
That's true.
So it could have been Wim.
Could have been Wim.
I can't see him making a documentary about tea though.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, his documentaries they have a little bit more weight to them, I think.
I was walking through the forest, and there was I taste the leaves and I taste the trees. Which, by the way,
Get Nick Cave to write a song about it.
That's what tea is. Tea is leaves, dude.
But it's again, it goes back to the fact that Yang feels it appropriate to capture that moment. This is one of the memories in his memory box, right? And like it is a beautiful moment because the whole time you're like, why is he fucking around in this tea shop? Like, what is this man up to? Like, and then it's like, oh no, this is like something that he cares about deeply, and here's the reasons why. And he kind of knows that it's tilting against windmills, but he's choosing to do it anyway, and it's important to him. And you get to see
what guy that makes everything harder for himself.
But you get to see what he gets out of it, and then Yang in turn gets something out of that.
Yeah,
out of that experience, and again, the idea of connection. Like you can get caught up in something that most people don't care about at all, and then if it's important to you and the people in your life and that love you care about you, it may not be important to them, but the fact it's important to you makes it important.
Yeah, and also like this show, like bringing on guests that actually who are really passionate about a movie, even if we're milquetoast about it. I love to see that. Although we're actually all passionate about this one, so go see Yang after Yang.
Also, just a total side note, like so, I've been on 3 episodes so far, and you've had me like a movie that's in my top 10, a movie that's in my top 25, and a movie that's still it's lower in my ranking, but I still think it's a masterpiece. Like, please feel free to have me on for movies that I think are shitty too. Like, I don't
like that.
We don't do that.
I've never heard you say a movie is. I've never heard you say a movie is shitty. Like we've gone through a list of movies. You're always like, yeah, that was great. I liked it. Good movie.
I've seen him talk some trash, but it's all ones I hate.
Oh yeah, you just need to go on my Letterboxd guy. Like yesterday I watched Raging Grace, which was fucking dog shit.
I don't know what that is.
So there's one for you.
I
rewatched Love Actually, which I've never loved, but I rewatched Love Actually a few days ago, and I think it's awful.
It sounds painful. I'd never seen it, and I don't intend to.
There's actually a really
Titanic 2 is out there.
There's a really big movement to sort of rehab Love Actually into being a good movie, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
I don't think that's a new movement. I think that's been for its entire existence.
Well, it will fail.
Huge.
Because
I hope so, but you'd be surprised. Like my sister thinks it's like a master.
Oh my god, average rating 7.6 on IMDb. Get out of here! It's higher than After Yang. Come on.
Really,
the Royal Hotel. The Royal Hotel. I despised. I want to know how much Telluride and Tiff were bribed to put that movie in their lineup.
I don't know what this is.
People really used to be into like the idea that like
the Julie
bunch of like barely related
Julie
stories.
Gardner.
They're like, oh, this will be so cool. Like these stories are barely related, and then there's like a thread going through all of them, and they're all like stories about romance, and we could get every actor that's ever lived to be in them. It'll be so cool, man. And it's like none of those movies were ever good. None of that kind of genre of movie is good. It's just
well, that one certainly isn't, because all the stories are so painfully bullshit. Like they're so ridiculous.
Shows up and tries to take his best friend's girl. He's doing the opposite of the fucking thing that happened to him in Walking Dead, where his best friend takes his girl.
A guy has a maid for one day and they don't speak the same language, and he goes to her village and the entire village supports him proposing to her.
Oh,
like
God.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's a ridiculous.
I hate
movie.
this movie and I've never seen it. Like you're making me like it less.
So the Royal
one scene with Rick Grimes.
So the Royal Hotel, which is a newer movie, it's based off of an actual experience, which is something that was Hotel Coolgardie in Australia, and there was a documentary called Hotel Coolgardie that I actually saw that was good, and it's kind of weird and messed up, but at no point ever was I like, there needs to be a biopic about this. No, I was like, no, there does not need to be a biopic about this.
I feel kind of bad for saying this, but the actual experience of living through that is just about the only thing in the world I can imagine being worse than watching that fucking movie.
So I can. All right, we're already this deep with it, but it's like these two Americans are out back. They're in Australia, like backpacking, and they take a temporary job at this like weird pub in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like, yeah, what do you think's gonna happen? You know, like what it's yeah. What do you think?
A koala bear falls on their head, and then they meet Renee.
Right, exactly.
The problem is, it's like, yeah, what do you think's gonna happen? But it's a movie of just the same fucking thing happens over and over again, and then the movie just ends.
All right. Well, I haven't seen the actual movie, but the documentary I thought was worth watching. But
I'll check it. I mean, look, I'll check it out because I just, sure, if a real thing happened, that's kind of fascinating. But like, fuck, man, this screenplay was just awful. Like, I'm a contender that you shouldn't be actively thinking about the fucking script and the story structure and stuff when you're watching a movie. Like, if those things are actively popping into your head,
right,
usually something's wrong.
I agree.
So,
so getting back to After Yang and having nothing to do with any of that, like, this is a good example of like a meditation on like love and loss, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know, I haven't watched Love Actually in a long time, and I'm not going to, but like, I just feel like all that stuff is candy coated, and just sort of like the idea of like love, like it's like that fake love of like these endless Hallmark movies that just like I can't abide them.
Yeah,
like, and I think that this is such a great job, and some people don't like the slowness of it, or the fact that like, yeah, no zombies or like cyborgs leap out and attack or anything along those lines. And it's like, no, I mean, you get to think about the idea of what is connection.
Yeah.
Like, and like, think about it in terms of like, yeah, it's through the auspices of the fact that there's this member of the family, this android that is now no longer around, but like it's a small scale thing, but it's huge. Cause think about like, what is more relatable than that? We've all lost people. We all will continue to lose people. We lost Forrest already.
Yeah. R.I.P. Oh, look, you rebooted.
and it's hard, right? It's hard to deal with, and people deal with it in different ways. And it's really hard, I think, to find great movies about grief and missing people. And I think a lot of movies they'll do a good job to kind of show that. But this does a great job of showing. It just happens to be that it's an android.
I think there have been a lot of movies, and actually there have been a lot recently too. Some of my favorite movies of the past, like each of the past few years, have captured the emotion of it really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like After Yang captures like the actual, like again, just on like a sensory level, like the experience of it. Like you're actually, like you're getting the emotion of it in other films, but in this you feel like you're actually inhabiting the character and experiencing the memory and the loss and the contemplation.
This is the first movie. This is one of the first movies I feel like that almost does the VR thing pretty well. Like, I mean, it's not really like, you know what I mean? He's watching through the memories, but it's like the same thing with like.
Don't say the lawnmower man, Andy. Don't do it.
Oh, I was going to say VR5.
No, but it feels like that kind of thing with like the glasses and like the experiencing it through the like feels like it does that well, and I feel like it does it well because it's not like this is going to be VR. Interesting thing we got here,
right? Yeah. Attention, everybody! We're gonna do VR now. Yeah, and it's this deserved a bigger audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. you know what I mean? Like I can't put it any more succinctly than that.
This deserved fucking Oscar nominations.
Yeah, like I'm stoked that Now Past Lives is sort of like in contention for next year now, and it kind of fell out for a while, and now it's back, and that's great. That's lovely. That's an awesome movie. But like, where was After Yang in there?
I still have to see that one too.
Past Lives is great. I like Past Lives.
I'm trying to remember what I was watching. I think maybe it was Beau. It was probably Beau Was Afraid when I went and saw it in the theater, and they had like the Past Lives ad before it.
Oh,
but that's also like
I got Talk to Me.
It's no Napoleon. That's all I'll say.
But the Oscars, genre movies are tough for the Oscars oftentimes. And that's...
KT and I were talking about how Maggie got snubbed. The year it came out, which fucking that stupid ass movie we covered that I'm still pissed off about. Danish Girl got nominated for Best Actor, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who gives the performance of his career, is completely snubbed.
By one of the worst actors in the world right now.
That's I guess it's long enough from that episode. I can say it. That was the one episode I watched. I'm like, nope, I'm not coming on for this one. I got nothing nice to say. I won't do it.
I was mad that I was on that episode.
Yeah, because I didn't just dislike it. I was like, I actually hate this movie. And I
started screaming about how they didn't understand artists.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, and then I think
they didn't understand trans people. They didn't understand artists.
A bunch of people thought that that's what the show was too. It's like you were going to be so disappointed when you find out it's not that at all, and we talk about stuff we like.
Yeah,
but seeing that Schwarzenegger got snubbed for that movie just got me so angry.
Yeah, talking about Maggie.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's a great film.
Okay. I'm just saying. I was just getting clarification.
Not to be confused with Mandy, but Maggie.
No. I know it's Mandy's Nicolas Cage. Mandy is excellent. If Mandy was Oscar nominated, that's a world I'd love to live in. because that movie is intense.
White women be drinking with tea with fucking. They love crystals and they love naming their kids with M's in their name. Maggie, Mandy. There's so many. I can't keep track of them all. White people got to stop.
So, should we do letterbox one-liners now? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, of course, Letterboxd is a social media site for film lovers to talk with and to each other about the movies they love, maybe the movies they didn't love, the movies that got nominated instead of Maggie. Who knows? It's not for me to say. It's everybody gets to have their say. And it's not just Siskel's and Eberts of the world. It's an open source democracy. Everyone gets to chime in, opine. And of course, that is best expressed for the purpose of this bit succinctly because this is where we take the selection of reviews from the movie we're covering, put them on screen, and talk about them. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for After Yang. Nobody suggested turning them off and on again.
Don't say my joke. Don't say my jokes that I was gonna say. Did they try putting him in rice? Fuck.
Oh, bad.
Boo.
Stop.
Boo. I'm never coming on the show again.
Cry-fi.
It is Cry-fi.
It's totally Cry-fi. Absolutely.
I feel like Tumblr opened up space for Cry-fi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell does a pretty solid Herzog impression. You know he does.
Yeah, he does.
He really does. No one goes to Colin Farrell's tea store, and that is the movie's greatest tragedy.
The Colin Farrell character, like I had a vision in my mind of a movie after this where it's he does like the Gran Torino thing, but it's with clones. He's like
he's racist against clones.
Yeah. He wants to appreciate them because his neighbors are all clones.
So
he's like a gun on their porch. Someone's
so
like,
we would think that'd be funny,
here.
and we would play that as a comedy, and then in 50 years' time, where clones are every day, like actually, this humor is very inappropriate.
He's doing clone face. That's clone face.
Clone face. Oh, God damn. A cautionary tale about the dangers of letting TikTok dance culture invade our households. It's going to ruin our best robots.
We don't talk about it enough.
We don't. Yang had the best photo dump. Instagram would have loved him.
Yeah, nobody would know he was an android. They'd be like, he ran this Instagram every day, and like, really good. Like, I heard it's actually run by an android. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. A lovely, deeply moving film where in one scene Colin Farrell does a Werner Herzog impersonation.
Yeah,
you're really obsessed with the Herzog impersonation on these.
They were supposed to be flipped, and it would have been like a callback, but it's fine. It's a good Herzog impersonation. How many good Herzog impersonations are out there? Not many.
Oh, none. There's a bunch of terrible ones, but this is like the only good one.
Yeah.
This is one of the terrible ones.
If you like Colin Farrell's eyebrows, you'll love his sad dad mustache.
Well, he just ripped off one of his eyebrows and put it on his face.
Oh, hey. Facial hair, am I right? Wiping tears from my eyes, Googling Werner Herzog NT documentary. That is the top comment in my heart for this one. Do androids dream of electric grief?
Wow, that's
those two are my favorites. That's good and topical too, because that was this earlier this week we did Blade Runner. Those are the Letterboxd one-liners for After Yang. Please follow the show HQ account at Movie Night Extra. We are putting up all kinds of awesome content for people to experience on Letterboxd, and by we I mean Andy and I. and we're working really hard at it and trying to build that up. The refurbished host, Always Flacco, at Always Flacco. He would have listened to the Chinese fun facts, but he was way too busy logging stuff on Letterboxd. And you can find him there about all that. I am the T-Ponder at Conan Neutron. You can follow me for the highbrow, the midbrow, the populist fare. Finished up the Criterion Challenge this last year. New one starts on the 15th. So follow me along for that if you want to keep it 2024. I don't know. I got nothing for this. J. Andrew, Dao of Yang World will give you unsolicited Chinese fun facts, just like Yang.
Yes.
And he's also watching the weirdest stuff, so you don't have to, or maybe so you can. Maybe he can be your Yang in the darkness. Your Sherpa, yes, your Yang Sherpa. So follow him along to see what he's up to and everything that he has going on with all the weird stuff that he's watching, because he's doing it either way. And you can find him right about now too on Letterboxd. Zach Marsh, all in this tea, which of course is the name of the much reference. I'm getting kind of like self-conscious about it. The Werner Herzog doc. It's not his documentary. He's just in it, but it's Les Blanc. That's the guy who did Burden of Dreams, which is actually incredible. which is the documentary about the making of Fitzcarraldo, which is actually as entertaining as watching Fitzcarraldo and almost as crazy. So, but anyway, all this to you. Zach is, of course, on Letterboxd. He does lots of other things as well. We'll get to those, but you can and should follow Zach Marsh on Letterboxd. Let me explain why. Because that's how I remembered to watch the movie After Gang, which is how we ended up having it on Movie Night Automata. So thank you for that, Zach. Your account,
follow him for that alone.
Right, exactly. It's Zach. It's just Zach Marsh, right?
The handle Zach B Marsh, but if you just
Zach
search
B. Marsh.
if you just search Zach Marsh, I should be the first one that comes up.
Zach with an H, everybody.
That is yes, H not K. You
for all the audio listeners out there.
You search for the K, you're gonna end up with someone else, and they suck ass, and they're not me. So
they're gonna be
they're not doing their best Zach Marshes people.
Top 4 is The Royal Hotel, Love Actually, and anyway, no kidding.
Raging Grace
Raging
and the non-Cronenberg Crash. Those are my top.
Oh my
4.
god! I would block someone immediately if that's what they had as their top 4.
Yeah, no, my top. I can tell you my top 4 without even looking. It's Everything Ever All at Once, Lawrence of Arabia, Blade Runner 2049, which is fitting because
we just did the OG.
You guys just did the OG, and The Godfather.
Yep, a little obscure movie called The Godfather.
Little known. Yeah.
You heard of this? Heard of this, Paul? Anyway, Chinese fun facts. Take us away with the plugs. Why don't you?
All right. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, please do all the YouTube things like comment, subscribe, hit that bell. And of course, the big ask we always ask you to do, watch the video to the end. That allows the algorithm for us to be found within it. But other movie fans can see like, oh, hey, what is this Movie Night Extravaganza? And you get to hear a great Conan Neutron song. So it's a fair trade, especially since it's only 1 month we're going to be having this song. So
right.
Get as much of it in your ear holes as possible. Because it's
if you like synths, you got 4 more episodes. How many more we got this month? Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
It's got the dirty robot on it too, which is a pedal.
Yes.
Well,
how do we not have the dirty robot in Automata?
Yang was a little bit of a dirty robot. He was
hanging
around with.
I thought he was a dirty robot at first. But if you're
hey
watching
girl,
this over on...
hey girl, you a clone?
Keep going, man! If I could come up with a
all these
pickup
blonde
line,
girls,
like a bad
all
pickup
these
line.
blonde girls be looking the same to me. They're clones.
That explains it.
All right.
If you've had one, you've had them all.
No, he's
Yes,
he's
okay.
just gonna use the space if you don't get
Twitch,
going.
if you're ever over on Twitch, throw us a sub. Sorry, I almost never mind. Throw us a sub. If you happen to have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to us for free. Does not cost you a penny, but actually does help out the show. So if you can do that, please do so. You can find us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Threads, and probably a few more that I don't know about.
Oh god, there's probably 5 more that popped up during this show.
Yeah. Look for Pseudo Unspoutable. No.
So exhausted.
But yeah, you can find us on those sites and say hi. We'll respond. We don't bite unless you ask us to. We do have a Patreon. And that's actually how you get us to bite. You have to pay us, but it's all right there on the Patreon. So if that's what you're into, go there, throw us some bones, and we'll chop down. Conan.
That analogy went so many places. I was like,
You know
I don't know what you're doing.
I did not
with it.
know where I was
it's
going.
going.
I didn't know where I was going, but what's going on?
He's like, I'm gonna land this plane somehow. Sully on the Hudson. Let's go.
You have a great show called Protonic Reversal.
Yes, I do. Correct.
Have people been staring at the logo all night? All night long. Anyways, you have better music than that on there.
I do, and it's notable that you mentioned that because I'm compiling my favorite records of 2023. It's an episode I do every year. It's a break-in format where I post one song from each of my favorite records of that year, oftentimes from people I've had on the show. And it doesn't go to YouTube because YouTube is meant to enforce copyright and almost nothing else. Chances are probably that's going to be the case this year. But you can find it everywhere else that you find Proton Controversial, which is literally anywhere there's podcast.
And of course, you can sign up for the Patreon and get that early.
Yes, absolutely.
Just $1 a month, and
$1.
It helps out Conan, and it gets you that episode early, so you can buy some stocking stuffers. Have time for it to come in time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And of course, another stocking stuffer you should buy is go to neutronfriends.bandcamp.com to check out Conan Neutron and Secret Friends.
Yes, please. Do so. Give us money. Thank you.
Yeah. Adult Prom is the new one.
Yeah, it's like 2 months old, it's like 100,000 years ago now, but like that's
I mean, babies are still like, not smiling and just farting at this point. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah, it's still pretty new.
So go get it. Learning Curve Records. Yeah, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com, as you mentioned, that goes directly to us. We're going to put some new merch items up, but not until like January or so. So don't worry about it now, but you can buy, there's plenty of old stuff to buy. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean,
copies still available, except for Art of Murder. That's out of print.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't say that one. I just said Dangerous Nomenclature.
Yeah, that one, there's still copies available.
Which is the previous album. So there we go. And of course, Kristina couldn't join us tonight, but she does have a Patreon. So if you want to go support her when she's it's patreon.com/cosmopolitics. And of course, you can always check her out on Twitch if you need your Kristina fill whenever she happens to be on, which we don't know when that's going to be.
Hopefully next week, right?
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be on next week.
I think Tuesday, but
I can't say what day though.
She's just I think on Tuesday she's gonna be on. She just has family stuff going on right now.
Well, isn't it Friday next week for Ex Machina?
I thought Tuesday was Ex Machina.
No, it's Friday.
No.
Yeah, we have like a week off, dude.
That's Renee. So.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, Renee and KT is coming up next week. So another Friday episode.
That's on Hotel Coolgardie time.
Yes. And
AKA
of course,
the Royal Hotel for Zach.
And Zach's over there waiting for me to mention his great short film, A Talk in the Park, which I don't know where you can go see it, but I know it was like touring some festivals. Nowhere yet. Still doing the festival thing?
I've got some to hear back from. So we'll see how those go. But YouTube or something, 2024. It'll be somewhere where people can watch it. And and it is on Letterboxd as well. So
it is, and you can see my review.
Logged it, and I think I even reviewed it. Did I? Maybe
you did review it. I was very appreciative of it. It was a great review that you gave it.
It's a great short film.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm very proud of it. I'm working on a feature now, so
nice. I can't wait.
writing stage, but I have a pretty firm idea for it. Like I've got it treatmented out, and it's just getting the words on the pages. So stay tuned for that. I don't know, if it'll get made. It'll require money being put into it because I'm not, there's infrastructure involved with this one. It's a lot more complicated than a Talk in the Park, but I feel very optimistic that it'll be my next thing. As well as
you're in Canada, so you get like arts funding pretty easy.
Yeah,
I mean, at least compared to the States. So
I've got some acting projects. I just played the lead role in another short film.
Nice.
Which I think it's coming out in April or so. It was funny. It's technically a student film, but it was like the set was really professionally run. The film looks great. I saw like stills, and I'm really proud of my performance. It felt great on set. I can't wait to see how it turns out. It's called, at least the working title is Resurgence. And I'm the lead. And I went full method. I regained some of the weight that I lost. I let my facial hair go scruffy. And I basically had to play an asshole for an entire weekend. So it was
then I've been going method for the last year.
But it's Resurgence coming sometime in 2024.
Man, he set you up on like that for like you were a comedy team. God damn, man. That was that's awesome. We'll be on the lookout for it. We'll watch list it when we can do that,
Yeah.
That sounds great. I think
that's
it.
Is that all the plugs?
Here's the story. We can start doing this, I guess. The rest of the movies that we're covering this month, just because it's hard to disseminate this information. Ex Machina is the Alex Garland movie with Renee and KT coming up. Wally, Ross Hurt from Rigs of Dad is coming back for that. That'll be right before Christmas. And then
that's gonna be a big episode, I have a feeling, because their following is big.
Yeah, it's yes.
And it's a popular film. Like people are gonna.
I haven't seen Wally since like 2009. I think
I've never seen Wally. My kids didn't want to watch it, and I'm like, yes, one less kid film to watch.
Wally's great.
Mark Fisher like writes about it in Capitalist Realism. Like that's how pervasive ideas about Wally were at the time.
So, and then we're closing out the year with an obscure little film called 2001: A Space Odyssey, which
never heard of it.
Yeah, heard of this? Yeah. It's no Wally, that's for sure. Yeah. So that's what we got coming up for Movie Night Automata, and proud we are of all of them.
All right, Zach, you got some final thoughts? This is one of your favorite movies. I'm sure you got a lot to say.
Well, I mean, it's really simple. I think we all know what my favorite movie last year was.
No.
The real fight is for silver. And there were a lot of films. Colin Farrell had a motherfucker of a year. The Batman, Banshees of Inisherin, and After Yang, which are probably my next three in my ranking, I think. But there was Tar, there was Top Gun Maverick, there was Broker, Triangle of Sadness, which I was on an episode.
I remember that episode.
So many just fucking unbelievable. RRR.
I thought RRR was going to actually like make a bigger impact, and it kind of
that best picture that the lack of a best foreign film nomination was shocking. No best picture nomination. I hated that. I really loved All Quiet on the Western Front, but I would have rather RRR had both of those spots. But at the end of the day, the film that is resoundingly my number 2 of last year is After Yang. I think it's a masterpiece. I just rewatched Columbus a few months ago, nice. Which is already a film that I adored. I was in the camp that After Yang overtook it. I don't know now. They're really neck and neck. As far as I'm concerned, like Kogonada is 2 for 2 in a way that I'm not sure any other filmmaker ever was with their first 2 films.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing for me is just I hope it doesn't take another 4 years for his next film. I hope
it's pretty methodical. Yeah.
I hope his next film comes as soon as possible. I can't wait to see what he does next. I think he's one of the best. He honestly is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, and that's with 2 films. So
nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, you throw a third in there.
I'm gonna look up his video. I want to see some of his video essays.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen everything. I've seen some of his supplemental stuff on Criterion things. I want to dive more into that. But as far as I'm concerned, if he does one more film, and it doesn't even have to be a masterpiece. If it's just a great film, he's he might be on my Mount Rushmore, genuinely.
All right, Andy, final thoughts.
This movie is a wonderful meditation on loss, and especially dealing with it with your child, because one of the tightropes that Colin Farrell goes through in this film is realizing, he too has to mourn, but also has to do it in a way where he's there for his child, even though he hasn't really been there for his child, in real life, and kind of learning to connect with his child again through this loss. As a parent, that hard relatable that I'm always trying to connect with my kids. I know my kids are just whatever, Dad, just go back to watching your Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. But, it's still, it really did, it's a beautiful film because of that. And it's just wonderful the way it kind of cut through and get the, I could see like I think more people who are part of like the Asian diaspora should probably see this to kind of connect with it. I remember a friend of mine was actually wanting to connect to her culture, and I remember we were looking at this to go see a movie, and I'm like, oh, there's a new John Woo movie, and we went to go see Mission Impossible 2. Well, hey, Tom Cruise had great hair. But what can I
Nothing like
do?
seeing representation on screen.
Yes.
That must be John Woo's least Asian film.
Oh my god, it's like one of his worst films, and mostly because of the score by that.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me. Yeah, the score is. I think everything about that film is bad. I don't even know. I'm not even sure the score.
Tom Cruise's hair is phenomenal, and I will not hear you disparage his hair.
He just had that hair because of Vanilla Sky. He just happened to bring it onto the set of Mission Impossible.
Exactly. But it looked great.
All right, you guys went all over the place there. Conan, final thought.
Yeah, this is a very relaxed, soft, powerful, and zen, experience that focuses grief and connection as well as loss. And it's a mesmerizing cinematic experience, just absolute first-rate world building, cinematography. Ultimately, it's a film about the power of memory and what's important to us and what's trivial, the context of all of it, and absence. And there's never a bad time to ponder both grief and being human, and how wonderful it is to ever be alive at all. And it all steeps like a very good tea.
So you guys want to do an after party in like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something?
I've got nothing better to do. I don't know.
All right, let's do it. We can go through. Maybe we can go through some Oscar smack talk or I mean, discussion. Sorry, excuse me.
All right. Well, we'll cut it here, and then we'll go to the after party. And
I ended strong, and then I started saying smack talk about the. I did it to myself that time.
Flat fight about the Oscars. No. All right. We'll go over there.